네, 너 낮춰. 오케이. 우리 아까 안 됐어. 안 됐어. 우리 있어. Crescendo. Crescendo. Project.喜欢吉他吗？你们喜欢学吉他吗？喜欢谁？你喜欢你的老师吗？喜欢。你喜欢你的老师吗？喜欢。乐计划。Crescendo。乐计划。Crescendo project。计划。
Hi everyone, I'm Cindy, and in 2015, I founded the Crescendo project. I got together with a couple of friends at school, we brainstormed some ideas, got in touch with others in our community, and then filled out a proposal form to create a club on Thursdays after schools. Last year, we fundraised to purchase 21 guitars for Mingxing Migrant School, and we now go to migrant schools around Suzhou to teach kids instruments on Saturday mornings. Sounds easy? It was not. I could talk for days about the challenges we faced, but no, when things started to work, I forgot all about them. I was so proud of myself and excited. I was like, I'm making a difference for the migrant children. Teachers at school told me, Cindy, you're doing great things for the community. And for a while, I thought I found so much meaning in life until a younger student, looking to start service herself, came and asked me, why do you do service? A profound question. She wasn't asking what change I've made in my community that gave me purpose, but what motivates me, what motivates Cindy Han to do service. And I was dumbfounded. Because I was so stuck on this one question, for the next few days, I asked myself another profound question. Why do we live? Why do we rage against the darkness of the night when we know that with every step, we're leaving the light further and further behind? In one of my theory of knowledge classes, as we were talking about the Greek mythology of Sisyphus, I found my answer. We live to find a reason to live. Sisyphus was the king of Ephra, whose punishment for deceit was to push a large rock up a mountain. And when he got to the top, the rock would roll down, and Sisyphus would have to repeat the process again and again for eternity. Sound silly? But life is like that. Life is basically pushing this boulder up a hill, meaningless, unless you find meaning to it. And that meaning could be anything. As someone who loves food and music, I could tell you that sometimes when life gets hard, one of the only reasons I don't go jumping off a roof, other than it hurts, is for breakfast the next day. And for my mom who makes it. And for the rest of my family, and friends, and music. We push that boulder for what we love. And then I realized doing service is the same thing, except that rather than being born without a choice, starting service requires an impetus, often a quite selfish one. You see, we don't donate to charities to make a difference, but because making a difference can give us a sense of pleasure, or alleviate our guilt, or satisfy our vanity. Similarly, I guess I also started service for self-centered reasons. To try something new, while gaining leadership skills, while feeling good for being awesome, while doing something that would look good on my university application. So that was how I began pushing the boulder up the bumpy mountain road. And at first, it was boring and hard. Getting to the top each time offered some gratification, but these feelings were instantly replaced by the dread of having to go up the hill again. And so I went on a search for meaning, with the hope that somehow it will alleviate my pain. First of all, doing something I loved helped a lot. In grade 8, I worked 100 hours at the Dushu Lake Library. And then I quit because sorting books for 100 hours is surprisingly boring. It wasn't that obvious at the time. In grade 9, I fundraised for an animal protection association in Suzhou. And then I quit because I never visited the organization, or petted the animals, or got to know the team in person. In grade 10, I joined a Habitat for Humanity trip to Guangzhou and helped build houses in the torn-down neighborhoods. It was a nice trip, and I learned a lot about poverty in the area, but I never went again. The lesson? If you don't like what you do, you will quit. So make life easier by starting with something you enjoy. For me, that was music, so up came the Crescendo project. For you, that could be movies, or photography, or reading, or video games. When you decide on your passion, congratulations. But you don't make a change by sharing a hobby. You do so by spreading a value. So find out why you like what you like. If you find yourself stuck, use this technique developed by entrepreneur Sakichi Toyoda. Ask yourself 5 whys. I like music. Why? Because playing music makes me happy. Why? Because I do it with my friends. Why? Because it connects us. Why? Because it helps us understand each other. Why? Because we can express ourselves in a better way through music. Bingo. And that set the base for the Crescendo project. This is our logo composed of a crescendo and a music note. In Chinese, it looks like the word yue, which means music. The same word could also be pronounced le, meaning happiness, symbolizing our value of offering happiness through music. Our slogan is "It only gets louder," with emphasis on getting louder and gaining confidence. As you've probably seen through the video at the beginning, those children did not become professional guitar players or singers after our Crescendo workshops, but instead, they fostered a sense of community and understanding and self-realization. And that's what our success is measured by. With a reason to move forward, pushing the rock became much less tedious, and I was able to observe my surroundings, find an audience with which to share my values, and search for connections. My dad is from Ningbo. My mom grew up in Sichuan, went to university in Shanghai. I was born in Hangzhou, immigrated to Vancouver, Canada, and is currently attending school here in Suzhou. I'm a foreigner here in all respects, just like the migrant children. And after thinking about it, it's really surprising how many similarities we share. We both go to, and actually both of our parents are busy, just that their parents are working in factories on Saturday mornings, and my parents are on the phone during dinner. Both of us go to private schools and have to pay a higher tuition fee. And yep, they actually pay more money than do public school students because they are unable to go to public schools. Well, my parents want me to get a better education than public schools can offer. And then, during the Crescendo workshops, I began to catch in my students small snippets of people around me. Chen Fuling is playful and dramatic and outspoken, although sometimes to an annoying point, like my friend Agar. You Xingyue reminds me of my mom, caring and hardworking. She always cleans her fingerboard before returning her guitar, and is always the one practicing when the rest are joking around. My imagination of a little brother is transformed into reality by Fu Longhong, a curious and affectionate boy who throws the occasional tantrum, and every time I see Wei Li, I see myself, a secret fighter, quiet, but always open to challenges. You know that you've made a true difference when your audience start taking off their masks, sharing their true identities. You know that you've undergone metamorphosis yourself when you begin to notice all these little things and build connections between them. So get to know those you're helping in person. Communicate. Share your stories and your thoughts. Ask questions. Understand and empathize. Most importantly, find out instead of just assume the impacts of everything you do. A lesson I learned was that sometimes when my students refuse to sing, it's not because they need me to teach them the notes, but because they need guidance on how to become more confident. Only by becoming more aware of your surroundings can you truly understand the social cause you're supporting. You're still pushing that rock up the mountain, but this is when you'll start noticing how beautiful the flowers are around you, or how warm the sun is, or how lovely the birds in the distant sound, and how you feel in the midst of all these wonderful sensations. Moving forward will not be about getting to the top anymore, because the rock will roll down anyways, but about the journey itself. Start to explore. Take a different path up the hill. When the weather gets bad, relish the rain. A lot of the advice we get when we first begin service is, take a look at society around you. See the problems and help those in need. Start from the top of the funnel and narrow down your choices according to your values. But I truly believe that we need to start with a personal cause to be able to make a true difference for both society and ourselves. Start from the bottom of the funnel, and you'll find that there are unlimited possibilities for you to explore. Of course, it will be hard. You probably have 10 different ideas and 20 different plans with no idea where to start. My last tip, and I'm not advertising for Nike, just do it. Find the one thing you'd like to explore. Because Sisyphus could push that rock forever. We can't. Thank you.
Great job.